It has been roughly 2 weeks since our 4 heroes found themselves drugged and press-ganged into a life of piracy. Aboard a ship called the Wormwood, captained by the ferocious Captain Barnabas Harrigan. With no escape and little other choice, they fell into place amongst the crew. They made some friends, and just as easily, it would seem, found some enemies. The first mate, Mr. Plug, seemed to have an immediate distaste for the new crew members, and used every opportunity to belittle and hand out punishment wherever possible. A bitter rivalry developed between him and the twins, with words and threats becoming actions, until eventually the captain himself was forced to resolve the situation. But tensions continued to rise, and just as things seemed to be boiling over, the Wormwood spied upon a merchant ship, the Man's Promise. And our heroes were trusted to be part of the boarding party. Now, with 2 ships, the crew was split, with our heroes to join Mr. Plug on the new ship, with Torrin, who had by now managed to impress Mr. Plug with her willingness to comply to such an extent that he awarded her a position as officer. The Man's Promise sailed north into a storm, where it managed to collect a hole in its hull, as well as losing 2 of its crew and all of its drinking water. Our heroes were sent to forage for fresh water on an island while repairs were made, which they did. Of course, rescuing the 2 lost crew, Sandara and Rosie, while they were there. Before returning, they hatched a plan of mutiny to take the ship that very night. And so they did. At midnight, the stillness was broken and all hands ran to deck. A short but savage battle later, and our heroes were victorious. With Lani appointed captain, they have decided to continue north, heading to a small dry dock that will be able to repair their ship. Where they go from there, we shall have to wait and see. And that's where we'll pick up this week. So, welcome back. Does everybody remember what they were doing when we left?
Mostly.
Mostly. It's been a couple of weeks.
Somewhat.
It has been.
My guy's Australian, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And my guy's a kitty cat.
I'm a dude, right?
Just real soft, real gentle, real nice.
Yeah. yeah, no.
Well, I'm pretty sure I remember you setting sail and heading north. Your destination. This Rickety Squibs was his name. Somewhere that can refit your ship if desired, but at the very least somewhere where you'll be able to make necessary repairs.
Absolutely. I have a question already.
Please.
That's never good.
Please.
Did I dream it, or in one of our private Facebook chats, was everyone like, oh yeah, that sword was totally meant for Dev?
Oh yeah, we had items we were going to identify, didn't we?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the next pieces of information we need to find out, get them identified at least, and then from the.
I think we did get them identified, didn't we?
Well,
no, not as yet. I think
I don't know if you identified everything.
No.
But before we get onto that, let's take care of a couple of things. You're actively sailing right now.
Yes.
So, Lani, you are currently helming the ship.
Yep.
And you have a... you're proficient with sailing vehicles, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, can you give me a check, please, to show me how well you manage at the ship's wheel today?
What check would you like?
Well, I believe you have a proficiency.
Is that basically a...
It'd be a D20 plus your proficiency.
Yeah.
For using a tool.
Is there no additional...
You don't get an extra skill tree. No, it just says I'm proficient with vehicles, water.
Yeah, but it's not like Dex or intelligence based or anything.
Unless you wanted to assign it to something, no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I assumed it would.
Thieves' tools would be a Dex check and
Dexterity. Yeah. Just make a flat roll for the moment, then, with your proficiency modifier, please.
That'd be a 22.
Wow. Nice.
That's a good start.
First roll of the day, not too shabby at all.
Yeah.
So, as a seafaring, well, you're from a seafaring tribe.
Yes.
And you are very familiar with not this size and not this make, of course, but sailing ships in general. And although the setup is quite different than what you're used to, you do at least have a good knowledge of the fundamentals of sailing. So it's more about learning how to get the ship to do what it wants, rather than having to battle with the waves and the winds, which is something that you already know how to do. So with a few tips from Tally, you get the hang of it relatively quickly. What does become apparent, though, is as you're sailing, is the crew you currently have, you are desperately undermanned for a ship of this size. And many people are having to kind of like do multiple jobs. They're having to run back and forth to control different ropes. In the rigging, it's a similar matter. So you are all, well, most of the time you're all going to be needed to take part in the sailing of the ship because you're so undermanned.
That's to be expected.
Yeah.
Des is reasonably a dab hand at doing the rigging now, so he can probably show somebody else what to do, as well as do it himself.
Yeah, I am assuming everyone who is available is going to be aiding. We have a couple of exceptions. You currently have Plug in the bilges, who is being guarded by one of the Radumis.
Yes.
He is being worked as well. He's not just sat there. Yeah.
No, he is. He has been told to man the bilges. Yes. You have the Owlbear, who, I mean, he'll pull a rope or lift or move something, but he needs instruction if he's to do anything.
Yeah.
So he cannot work self-sufficiently. The other person, of course, would be Croup, the cook, who does actually appear on deck not long after you set sail, and you can see him frantically. He seems to have some fishing wire or nets with him. He looks like he's baiting up like multiple lines, and he's very frantically trying to get these hooked up and tossed over the side, and looks very, very concentrated on what he's doing, rushing around. He gets these tied off, seems happy with his work, and then he will disappear below deck again. Just in case anyone had forgotten, you had agreed to have a sort of lunch with him.
Yes.
So that you may have a discussion.
Of course. Wonderful. So I think we would be giving Owlbear simple tasks. And telling anyone who's kind of like helping to supervise him or whatever, just keep it simple. He'll basically do what he's told, but like try not to confuse the poor guy.
As Torrin has done her best to befriend him, I would say that he would probably shadow her most of the time.
Yeah, okay.
And,
that's fair.
As I said, Torrin, he seems relatively compliant if you ask him to do something or to help you. But I can't count him as a full crew member because he just simply isn't
That's fair.
reliable enough to
That is fair enough.
100%. So, seeing as you're all fairly occupied or preoccupied with your jobs, you're not really going to be able to do much at this point, but assuming you sail up until midday and into the early afternoon, eventually Croup will appear and say that he has a meal ready if you desire to partake in it.
Of course, yeah.
Oh yeah, lovely. Tally, can you take this wheel for me?
Albert, you can have a break. Sit down for a little bit. I'll guide him to sit on one of the steps.
Mm-hmm. He seems very compliant. As you give Tally the wheel, Lani, he does say this. Do you wish me to drop anchor while you eat? It'd be a little tricky to continue sailing with so little crew if you're leaving us.
Yeah. Maybe that's for the best. Give the crew a little chill out, and we'll get some food for them as well. Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to give the command, sir?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody listen up. We're going to drop the anchor. Everybody's going to grab some food. We're going to have a small rest stop. And then we'll try and get underway again. Yep. Let's do it.
And Lanny's just a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous to start with, just about giving out these commands. Like I say, he's sailed ships before, but he's never had to command a crew before.
Torrin Tally gestures to you, like, perhaps the Albert could help you drop the anchor. He seems very capable.
Yes, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Albert, you want to help out here?
Albert. He quite gleefully and with surprising ease picks up the anchor and tosses it overboard. And seems to quite enjoy the large splash it makes as it drops. And you see him just leaning over, watching it sink, trailing the chain behind it, with a faint grin on his face.
He is an impressive one, isn't he?
So at that point, Croup, go on.
I'm sorry. You need to take a break there, Albert. I'll get you some food, and you can maybe drag that one up a little bit.
Okay. So Croup does appear on deck. He's holding a very large tray with food on it. And with your aid, he would enter the captain's quarters and begin to set the table.
Wonderful.
Mr. Croup, look, lovely food. Let's have a little sit down, shall we?
Allow me to get the door for you, Mr. Croup.
Oh, thanks very much, Devin boy. Let me get this set up. Yeah. And with the same sort of like frantic concentration that you saw with the fishing line, you see him starting to lay the table. Seems to be making quite an effort. It's a bit of a noticeable change in his demeanour. I mean, Devvie especially, you would have seen the way he cooks. It's generally with a little
it's slapdash,
a bit haphazard, but he seems to be doing his best to make a very good impression. And he does reveal multiple fish that he has managed to catch with these lines, which all look, to his standards, to be prepared fairly well.
Well, this is a lovely spread there, Mr. Croup. Very well done.
It's all a bit fucking civilised.
It is a bit.
Well, I just sort of thought I'd make a bit of an effort. Like, it's been a while since I was in the captain's quarters for a meal, so...
It's
Mr.
very much
Croup,
appreciated, Croup. Thank you very much.
You seem a lot happier in yourself at the moment. You seem, let me say, sober.
Well, yeah, that's partly true, I guess. I mean, I must say I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know, since we've left the Wormwood, I feel like a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders, and, I mean, things were, I don't know. My world was a little bit bleak up until very recently, I will be fair, and, yeah, as you may have noticed, I did occasionally turn to the drink to help raise spirits somewhat, but, yeah, I am very happy to be off that ship. I honestly thought I was never going to be able to leave. I was actually quite surprised when you said the captain wanted me over on this side, on this ship. Very surprised indeed, but he's obviously got bored with my company.
Well, we are lucky to have you here, Mr. Croup.
Now, as I said, I didn't want to be too forward, but I sense you're all relatively new to this lifestyle and the way of life here. So I just thought maybe we could just have a little chat about how you planning to continue, and maybe I could give you a few pointers if it doesn't seem too much out of turn of me.
I think I can speak for all of us when I say we would definitely appreciate the help.
We are quite literally flying by the seat of our pants here, Mr. Croot. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, no, don't mean to be rude, but it's kind of the impression I got. So, and I think I swear, I quite like you guys. You know what I mean? So I thought I'll help you out as best I can. Now, before we start, do you actually have just any questions?
Yeah. How would one go about selling a boat of this calibre? Out of interest.
Well, you'd have to take it to a decently sized port, I suppose. With enough interested potential buyers, so there are a number of ports here in the Shackles that fit that description, and well, the actual selling of the ship is not the issue. I would be slightly cautious when it comes to this ship, as technically, well, at least as far as Aragon's concerned, the ship belongs to him, so I would be cautious about selling it too openly, if you know what I mean.
Well, see, I had an idea. What if, now I don't know what these squib-yard, I don't know what they're usually like, but I'm assuming they would have several boats in at once. What if we just traded there?
No? Nah, that's not how it works, mate. Yeah, you got to understand, the way these places work, it heavily relies on secrecy. Someone like you, say we got this ship and we want to protect its true identity from its true owner. It relies on trust between the crew and the team that refit the ship. If multiple ships were coming and going, that would mean other ships and other crew would bear witness to this transformation and would have the inside knowledge that could be potentially dangerous for the new owners, if you know what I mean.
They could sell the information, I guess.
Yeah, generally they're only letting one at a time.
Right, gotcha. Right, so we're going to have to get it refitted and then go to a bigger port.
Well, That is the question, if you are indeed planning to sell it.
I think that a ship of this size is probably not the best for us. I think we'd be more suited to a smaller, more agile ship. Less crew. Easier to man.
My thoughts exactly, and also it would, I've got a bit of a taste for this piracy malarkey now. It'd be nice to be able to do a fast hit and run, and then get away quickly if we need to.
Right.
Especially if Harrigan's on our tail. Be nice to be able to outrun him.
Yeah, something that can outrun the wormwood is definitely something on my shopping list.
Yeah, there is also the slight issue is that if we keep this ship and we go sailing the ice seas like we plan to, there's also the possibility, as you mentioned, that if Aragon happens to catch up with us on what he considers to be his ship, he might feel slightly egregious about that.
Yeah, that's definitely a point.
That is a potential issue. I mean, it kind of depends how long you plan to keep this ship and what exactly you plan to do. If you plan to make a life here in the Shackles as pirates, then you may want to consider travelling to Port Peril and applying for a letter of marque from the Pirate King. Become an official free pirate of the Shackles.
Hold on a fucking minute. You have to get permission to be a pirate.
Well, no, anybody can be a pirate. Anyone with a boat and a cutlass can be a pirate. But if you are able to, I don't know, attain enough infamy within the Shackles and prove yourselves to the Hurricane King, well, he basically gives you a little letter saying that you're one of his official pirates, basically. There is a small tax involved, but I mean, there are other benefits. You get treated very well any harbour you would enter, and of course it is against his ruling that any free pirate attack another. So
and is Harrigan a noted
he
pirate?
is indeed. So as I said, if you are also able to get one of these letters, then
that does afford us a level of protection.
Yeah, if you happen to be in port and he sails in, then you'll be relatively safe. Of course, if he runs into you on the open seas, well, away from eyes, who knows what he might do. But as long as you're in harbour, that's I doubt even he would risk losing his position as a free pirate by attacking another.
Right, I've got a little bit of a plan for me here. Yeah. Well,
Go on, Dev.
I reckon that perhaps. So, I've been ping-ponging this in my head for a little while. See, I don't want someone like Harrigan being a shadow chasing us. So, I've been wondering if we basically carry out his orders, sell this boat, and leave the proceeds for him in a place of safekeeping. Meanwhile, we go to another port, steal ourselves a really nice sleek boat, and then come back to Port Peril to become pirates under the Pirate King.
Yeah, but how are you gonna afford another boat?
Well, we'll steal another boat. One that isn't affiliated with any of these protected pirates.
Well, currently, this boat is not affiliated with any particular pirates. I would possibly say that instead of nicking a boat, we trade this one in. I don't think leaving money somewhere for Aragon and hoping that he comes across it is a particularly good idea, to be perfectly honest, brother.
Well, there is that. I'm just wondering, how much protection is there going to be if he turns up, realises we've sold his boat and used the proceeds to buy ourselves our own, and then become protected pirates? I mean, how much is the Pirate King's authority going to actually protect us against that maniac?
There is a ring of truth to that. That man is, although his demeanour is relatively stable most of the time, he does have a psychotic streak to him, and I have seen him enact that on a couple of occasions.
Well, if it wasn't Sandaro, he would have killed me.
Well,
I think he did kill you, bruv.
You know what I mean? I mean permanently.
Oh, right, yeah.
Of course, the other thing is, I mean, what's the likelihood of him even recognising you?
He'd have to get up close, wouldn't he?
That's a fair point. And if he's up close enough to see us, he's up close enough to board us, and then we've got a whole different problem.
Yeah, now, that's all well and good, right? But another thing that I've been thinking, right? I'm going to be arrogant in this scenario, right? I have just given this brand new shiny ship that I've just come into possession of to my first mate, Mr. Plug, who also happens to be a pirate, right? Now, by and large, pirates, not the most trustworthy of people. So, what do? I give Captain Plug, as he is now, something of a talisman, shall we say. And then I have a magic user who's in my employ to keep track of Mr. Plug as he sails around the ICs, so I know where he is. Right? So, what if the case is that currently Mr. Plug has something on him that is currently being tracked by Aragon, so he actually knows where we are at all times. Just putting that out there.
You have added a dimension there that I did not think of, bruv, and it's actually makes a lot of sense.
It does happen occasionally.
Even if I'd known Plug for 10 years, I wouldn't trust the bastard, so yeah.
If my knowledge is correct on those sort of spells, it doesn't even have to be a special item, it's just something that Harrigan knows about. It could be... I think... Actually, I don't even think you need an object. I think you can just look into someone with those sorts of spells.
Right.
Which means he can just follow Plug.
Well then.
We could strip him naked and take everything he's got, but he could still follow us.
Alright, then let's turn the question over then, Mr. Creep. What do you reckon we should do? I mean, I'm guessing you don't want to really come across Aragon again.
Well, no, not at all. And if your plan was to return to him, I would gratefully request to disembark this ship before you do so. But as to my thoughts, well, I don't know. I think things have turned out all right. You've got yourself a ship, a small crew. I mean, you'll have to get more if you want to continue, but I mean, it's not a bad place to start if you want to continue in this way of life. This place that'll re-squib the ship, they do a decent job. I mean, at least from a distance, the ship won't be recognisable. And I mean, I'm assuming once Aragon realises Plug has not arrived in Port Peril with the ship, it's going to be Mr. Plug that he's looking for, no?
That is what I would come to the conclusion of, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean... That comes into my thoughts on old Pluggy downstairs. I don't want him to live.
I don't either.
No. But we said if there might be something that Mr. Harrigan's got over him and he can keep track of him, surely if we just launch him overboard, then that is gone. That link is gone.
Yeah.
Even if we kill him and keep him for a bit, you can't track him if he's dead.
Well, I don't know. Can you not? Isn't there a thing where you can look at an object or person, no matter what state they're in? I don't know how it works.
Generally spells are quite specific. If you're looking for a person and that person doesn't exist, it fails.
All right. Well,
Magic's a finicky little thing.
all right then. How about? I mean, I know we've got a few bones to pick with him. How about we set a limit on the amount of days that we have him, and then we put him overboard to the sharks?
I mean, I don't necessarily, Mr. Croup. I appreciate that you don't know me very well. This may sound odd to you. I want to keep his body for a bit.
I've got to say, that sounds a bit weird to me as well.
Well, it sounds a bit weird to me too.
Yeah, you do see Creep's eyebrows ruffle, and he does look back between the two twins before looking back at you. Sorry, come again?
There are some magics that I'd like to explore. And it's much better to do it on someone that's not with us anymore than
You mean like
picking a live
test?
subject.
You want to test some things out on his body?
It's kind of like target practice. But but yes, in a word.
Alright, I mean, did you need me to aid you with that, or what?
Oh, no. He'll be fine.
I mean,
Right.
so
It'll be all right.
I'm just the cook on this ship, and I am also here for advice anytime you want it. At the end of the day, what you decide to do is completely up to you. I would just say, whatever you decide to do with him, I would have a good think about it first, because potentially, well, within a few days, Mr. Plug is probably going to be right at the top of Harrigan's list of things that he wants very, very badly. And I would not be too hasty in tossing something like that overboard, if you know what I mean.
That's
Understood, Mr. Group.
Are you suggesting that we use him as a bargaining chip or something?
I don't know. I'm just saying he might potentially have some value to him.
I've just thought of something.
I don't know.
Oh, he has plenty of value. He just doesn't understand that yet.
Torrin.
Yes.
I might be a little bit curious as to what Harrigan might do to someone who had abused his trust so horribly.
Oh, it's something that I thought about as well.
I almost want to stick around and find out. I don't know. Right. Well, should we put it to the vote? Who wants to do what? Should we squib the ship, keep it, and then sell it and trade it in for something sleeker, or what do we want to do?
My vote goes to selling it and using the proceeds to purchase a ship.
Right, so that's 2 for that.
Yeah, well, I think I'm on the same lines. Yeah, once it's sold, Harrigan would potentially find out we've sold it, certainly, But buying a new ship, might not know. We'd be gone before he found out anyway.
And who in their right mind is going to cross us when we say, keep our business secure? Also, none of these places would exist if they couldn't keep that information secure. I think once we get rid of this ship, we're in pretty good stead.
Well, that seems to settle it then. I've also just had another good idea. Well, it might be good, I don't know. Maybe we could leave a note in Port Peril for Captain Aragon, telling him that Mr. Plug betrayed him and took his ship. And he's off on the high seas somewhere.
Or maybe he sold the ship and used the money just to booze it up. Just to drink the night away.
Or that.
Maybe.
I like that idea.
Tell him he's done a runner, and then he'll be searching the high seas forever for something he ain't gonna find.
Done a runner, something about headed north.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sounds good.
maybe him and his bitch decided to leave the piracy life behind.
Could be. Oh, we'll think about it. We'll workshop it on the way.
I do have two questions. Firstly, you said it's quite secretive, this squib yard, this yard, get this boat redone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how easy is it to get into some place like that? Is there a secret way in or a secret way of doing things?
Well, no, not exactly. It's not visible from the coast. I mean, I'm pretty sure I will recognise it if we get close enough. It's in a small inlet. Basically, as I said, they don't like to have more than one customer at a time, so generally if you approach and they're already occupied, they will raise a flag warning you to stay away. Other than that, you're free to go in and get squibbed. And as I said, he is very secretive. Of course, the only time he has ever revealed the true identity of your ship is when he was not paid. And then,
That actually leads me on to my second question. How much does something like this cost?
well, for a ship this size, probably a couple thousand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's maybe a stumbling block for us. I mean, what sort of funds do we have on this ship?
Well, we haven't
Or
really searched
between
this
ourselves.
cabin yet, have we?
I would be very fucking surprised if there's more than a couple of hundred gold on this place.
Well, we'll see what we can scrape together. I'm wondering also whether if we squib the ship and then sell it, whether they'll let us come back and pay the rest off.
I do believe he is. No, do not laugh. I do believe he is fairly willing to cooperate if someone is a little bit lacking of funds, shall we say. He'll probably add a percentage on top, but
Yeah, of course.
as I said, people, if you leave there owing him money and don't pay it, well, he'll just release the secrets that he has, making any work done on the ship completely worthless. So it doesn't really make sense to do that, and I think him knowing that means he's relatively willing to let someone sail out even if they haven't paid the full price yet.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, well, I reckon we can do that.
Option. We can work something out with him and
I mean, we came back to ask.
partial payment and then return the rest once the ship is sold.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I've met him a couple of times. He's a fairly reasonable fella. I'm sure he'll be all right.
What's his name? Sorry.
Rickety.
Oh, his name's Rickety. Oh, right, okay.
'Tis
Is that
indeed.
like Ricky T or Rickety?
No, like Rickety.
Right.
I'm sure it's not his real name, but it's the only name I know him by. So.
Right, I think we have a plan then. Everyone agreed?
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think for now, yeah.
I do believe that that lunch is served, friends.
Oh yes, please tuck in.
Mr. Croup, you've provided a fantastic spread for us all. Do sit and enjoy it with us. You deserve it.
Oh, thank you, thank you. He also produces a bottle of white wine, which, although the label looks a little bit scuffed and used, is fairly sweet, if a little warm, and goes very well with the fish that he's made, which, as I said, for his standards, is actually quite decent.
Bringing out the fancy stuff.
Very
So
nice,
while you're
Mr.
eating-
Creep, very nice.
He said he does continue. So and something I just did want to mention. I realise Lanny here has been appointed to captain, but I sense this is more of a democratic rule. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah.
It is, but for all intents and purposes, to the rest of the crew, Lanny is our captain, and his word is final.
Well, that was going to be my point exactly. I have no issue with the way you want to run things. Just as you say, is fairly important that the crew has at least one person to look to as a point of authority, and of course, any outsiders, anybody else looking upon the ship. It is it's important to have one captain as a figurehead of the ship. On that note, do not think this rude of me, but I was considering whether possibly an adjustment of your name might be helpful.
Okay. I mean, what do you suggest?
I don't know, something with a little bit more, a little bit rough and dangerous, Captain Lanny just sounds a little bit, no offence.
I see what you mean now.
You mean along the lines of
Yeah.
Miss Blackheart?
Oh, for example, something like that. A good captain always has a good name. Something memorable, you know what I mean?
I'm sure you've heard legends, Lanny, of Blackbeard and Tusktooth and Ron the Mad. All of these names I heard as a child. Don't know whether you have any legends from your past that you could draw inspiration from.
I'll have a think. There are a few that come to mind, but let me think of something. And if any of you come up with something that you think might be fitting, then certainly let me know.
About Captain Bollock Breaker.
Don't really break many bollocks.
Yeah, but it's all in the marketing, isn't it? They don't know you haven't broken many bollocks.
Torrin is pushing the pressure point on her temple. Just one of these days, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I mean, I like to smash skulls, but I don't know about bollocks.
All right, how about Laddie Skull Smasher?
Captain
Skull
Smasher. It's not too bad.
Captain Skull Smasher, indeed.
Yeah, or we'll just lose the other. Captain Skull Smash.
Tells a story.
Or Smash Skull, maybe. That kind of has a bit more of a flow to it, doesn't it? Smash Skull, as opposed to Skull Smash. I don't know. Semantics.
Captain Skull.
It's a bit generic, isn't it?
Ah, you can fucking talk.
Well, I mean, consider how many other fucking Captain Skulls there probably are on the ICs.
Yeah, but Lanny can be the best. He can break the most skulls. We can decorate the fucking ship with him if we want to.
Yeah. I like Gold Smasher, I do like it.
That seems like a good fit.
And then what do we call this ship, I suppose?
That's Skull Smasher. No, okay, we're not.
No.
Mate, you've really got something on your mind, don't you?
Yeah.
I've got an idea, but I want to use it for the new ship.
All right.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, if the plan is to sell this ship, then it will only be a temporary name before taking on the new one. But it will need a name. You don't have to decide that yet. Up to you.
Yeah.
We'll decide by the time we get there, I think.
Maybe Rickety's got a list of names that he thinks are more inconspicuous when trying to sell on a
something
previously used vessel.
Yeah, something mundane and innocuous, like, I don't know, the Dog Rose or something, you know.
A Sea Breeze.
Yeah.
What about the Not Stolen?
that one might hit it a little bit too on the head.
Yeah, fair one.
About the Skull Mender. No?
I think steer away from skulls just for this one. Just for the name of the ship. I think something, you know, something a little unassuming, like the Trade Wind or something like that.
Yeah, very simple, mundane, doesn't draw attention.
Yeah.
Boring. Yeah.
And then we get one of our new ship. When we get our new ship,
Yeah.
that's when we can really smash it out.
You mean like Skull Smasher out?
I was thinking the
I
blood.
swear to Merkel, I am going to hurt you one of these days, and you're not going to enjoy it.
I mean, you say that, but when you smile like that, it gives me all this tingly feeling.
Holding my fork, I'm just gonna start shocking grass, but it's gonna arc between the points of the fork.
I've got an idea, but an idea should also be should all be almost be born of myth or legend, and I've got an idea to start building that legend. So
I'm all ears for that.
So
I'm still staring at Des, by the way,
and I think
with this fucking crackling fork.
I think Torrin and I can do something about that on the days to the squib. We'll sort something out. I've got an idea, and it's a bit dramatic and a bit, you know, but I like that sometimes. We'll
raise
sort
an
it out.
eyebrow.
I'll tell you later. It'll be nice.
No,
You'll like it.
No, it's not the plug botherer, is it?
Oh no, that's a bit on the nose.
The butt plug.
That's a bit just not R-rated, yeah. Or should I say arse-rated? Anyway.
No, we're pirates. Should be R-rated.
On the pressure point again, the lightning is crackling more.
Do you know what? I haven't chuckled like that in a few days. That's a good one, bruv. I like that. Anyway, let's just finish up here, and we'll get an afternoon of sailing done.
Did you have any other questions about anything else?
Not currently. Did you have any questions for us?
Well, I don't think so. I just like to reiterate that I am quite fond of you guys. You've made a fairly good impression on me, and if you wish to continue, I would gladly serve as your cook stroke advisor. Yeah.
Well,
Very well. Very well.
We appreciate that. We really do. Thank you.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I'll get this cleaned up unless there's anything else you were needed.
No.
I think that's all good. Thank you again for the meal.
Okay. Then he grabs a handful of things and exits the cabin, leaving the four of you alone.
well,
I think that went well.
Yeah.
well, you can say.
We have a plan, which is, more than I expected from any of us, to be perfectly honest.
Our heading seems true. We're still headed north, still headed towards the Scribyard.
Getting there.
I can't help but notice, shall we say, a couple of reactions to what I said a moment ago.
Yeah.
Anybody want to
I'm just going to say it. What are you planning,
voice
Torrin?
anything?
What have you got in mind, Torrin? Bit sordid, if you ask me.
So, yeah. About Pluck. You can see her sort of pondering, sort of tapping the table a little absent-mindedly. It's no secret we all ate his fucking guts.
Yeah.
But, Lani, you're not particularly vengeful towards him, are you?
I mean, he's a dick, but he never really fucked me over at all. I know he did pretty much all three of you, but I'm happy just for you to crack on, do what you want, really.
Fair. And you two, you you have a particular disliking of the fellow, don't you?
Well, he did try and have me killed, directly. I do take a little bit of an umbrage to that, I've got to say. I'm not one to hold grudges, except I am. And I would like to hurt him a lot.
Yeah. And you're the same, Devvie.
Well, you see, I've got a bit of a, how do I put it? I've got a bit of a mean streak, and, you know, I do try and keep it in check. And it is true that my brother and I fucking hate bullies. It's... You see, yes, I might be a nasty bastard, but I like to think I only really take it out on people who deserve it, and if someone tries to hurt me or my brother, then all bets are off. But when someone maintains a campaign of general arseholery against us, that really fucking irks me. So, yeah, I haven't got a problem with you doing whatever you want, as long as it doesn't draw any unwanted attention upon us. I think that's where I'm at.
That's fair. Are all of you of the same sentiment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, while he's alive, as much fun as I have sending electricity through him, I don't really care for hurting his body. I want to make him suffer. But you two can do that with knives and fists.
Yeah.
I want to make him pay.
Well, that's...
I want his soul to scream.
That's something I kind of alluded to a little bit when I said, you know, starting a bit of a legend. I wanna talk to you about that privately.
I think that can work. I don't need him alive. That's all I need to say now. I have much more plans for him when his body begins to decay. His mind will still be there.
I mean, I knew you were a little bit spooky, but some things are starting to line up a bit now. I think I know what you're heading for. I'm not against it, saying right now, you know, everyone's got a thing. As you will find out later, I've got a few things. And I think it's about time that you and I had a little bit of a chat about that, because I don't think you and I are too dissimilar. Not to put too fine a point on it. So we should
I've got
have
to
a
say,
chat.
from what I've seen, I am quite looking forward to this meeting of minds.
Oh, it's going to be sublime, bruv, sublime.
I mean, we've got a bit of time now before we need to set sail again. If you two want to head up and get the crew ready, we could have a conversation now. Des? Or Dev, rather.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Excellent, Gold Crusher.
Yeah.
Shall we get the crew sorted?
I see, he acknowledged that like a duck to water.
I know, right?
Just one thing I want to do first. Just, Torrin, been meaning to give you this for a while, and obviously took this off plug as well, but I've got this cutlass took from Pike. If you could have a look at it for me. Might not be for me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Pike was doing some pretty weird stuff with it. But and then, do you remember when we first took this ship, this Pike that the female captain had, the female officer had? Can you look at this too? These two things are certainly of interest. I think, Des, didn't you say that it it zoomed out or something?
Yeah, the term I used was extended across the ship and poked me in the fucking ribs. It was quite unpleasant.
You can have a look at these for me, Torrin. Appreciate it. It doesn't have to be immediately, but
drop them on the bed, and I'll. There's a few things I need to go through. I need to ransack this place and see if I can find anything of value. But I'll go through them today.
You, Torrin. And with that, Lanny is out the door.
And I will follow him.
Okay, Lani, do you have orders to set sail immediately, or do you want to do something else for the moment?
No, I think to muster the crew and have them man the ship again. Get the Albert to raise the anchor, but I think we'll wait for Torrin to come out, get her to request him to do that.
Okay.
Probably the best option, but certainly readying the ship, ready to move.
Okay.
I'll get up in the rigging and just take up my previous position up in the rigging. Get keep an eye out for ships and whatnot for my lab there.
Okay. So that leaves Torrin and Devvie alone in the cabin.
So, what do you think that I'm headed towards? I'm intrigued by your deductions.
Well, I mean, obviously, forgive me if I am wrong, but I've heard I haven't encountered one myself. I'm just a poor boy from a poor town, but I've heard tell of a. And I kind of like lean in close a bit and go, necromancers? Is that what you're into?
At the word, my eyes will go from sort of normal and fairly standard to very sharply drawn in on your face. Go on.
I mean, I've not got a thing against it. Everybody's got their thing, and well, let me tell you my thing, because obviously I'm probing into some intense inner stuff here. So I'm going to show you some of mine. Well, me and my bruv were growing up. He's shall I put it? I can't quite put my finger on it, but he seemed more human than I was. You know what I mean? I mean, he has thoughts and feelings, and I mean, we all do. But I never seemed to relate to feelings that other people would consider normal. It took me a while to blend in with normal folk. I'm not like other people, and I've done my adjusting. Over the years, I've blended into society in what little way I can. But obviously, my brother and I have come up in the underworld a bit, and my particular blank spots in my humanity have sort of served us quite well. It's one of the reasons we've got the reputation we do in our town. See, I don't feel anything unless I'm hurting someone physically. Do you kind of know what I mean?
I do.
Now,
Torrin is sort of looking directly at you at the moment. And if you look closely, she's probably not even blinking.
I think
Very intense.
the only real human feeling I have is that I share my brother's aversion to bullies. See, our old man, he was a fucking bully. And the only other human feeling I have is I love my brother. I know I love my brother, and I love my old mum and my auntie. But I'm pretty sure I don't have love for anybody else or anything else in this world. It's kind of hard to explain, but I've heard people, smarter people than me, going on about this stuff, and I think I might be a sociopath. I think that's the term. So, yes, I take a special dark interest in bullies. But my position is, when a bully is being a bully, and they are exerting their so-called power over others, and I think that's where I draw my line. I think that's the line where it's acceptable for me to exact revenge on them. but I get a pleasure out of it as well. Does that make sense?
It does.
So, that's where I am. That's me. Basically being as honest as I've ever been to anyone outside of my brother here.
Torrin is silent for a moment, still looking, studying your face.
So, here's where it comes over to my idea. See, you and I both know, obviously growing up as kids, we've always heard tales of the dread pirate this or the feared pirate that. They've always had a story behind them, you know? And I think if we're going to make a go of it, we can have our fun with Plug, but at the same time we can also forge a legend of our own. See, we keep him down in the bilges, and I like to hurt people. That's how I get my kicks. What if every day he's pumping out the bloody water from the bilges, and we make a reputation around that, and when we get our new boat we call it the Blood Wake? Kind of sends a shiver down my spine, you know?
Torrin's mouth curls up at the edges just a little bit.
So I know you want your revenge on him, and I just want to hurt him, so why not, you know, at lights out? Until we get to the squibs, we make a habit of having our playtime with him after dark. Or we make a reputation for ourselves.
You're a very interesting man, Devvie.
I've been called worse things.
I'm sure you have. I think that might be one of the smartest things you've ever said.
Oh, you know, I can do it sometimes. And he
legend
just
of
smiles.
our own. The Blood Wake.
I mean,
You only know our ship's been there because of the burning wreckage and the blood in the water.
and it's, you know, my thought is, this chap we're going to see, who's going to refit the ship, he sees a lot of pirates. And when we roll in with a trail of blood behind our ship, he's going to tell some people.
Yeah, I think he might.
So, that's my idea.
Now, as much as I love that idea, and I really do, my specialty comes from when Plug has no more left to bleed.
Right, you are.
Your suspicion is correct. I've been very interested in necromancy for a number of years. And, well, I need a test subject. I'm not strong enough yet.
I am so on board with this. Yes. Let's do it.
So when I'm strong enough, And when I've understood the magics a little more, I want my first subject to be Plug. But imagine that story.
Oh, look at that. And I'll roll my sleeve up and you can see goose pimples all up Devvie's arm. Oh, look at that. You got me right there.
The crew of the Bloodwake, with the former captain raised to undeath.
I mean, the legends basically write themselves.
They do. But imagine if I can do that to every captain that we take. Now, this isn't my ultimatum. This isn't my goal. There are much, much bigger things that I don't want to get into yet. Although I appreciate your exposition into your life, I don't quite feel ready for that just yet.
That's alright. In your own time.
But just imagine all these ships with all of these captains all crewing the Bloodwake after their untimely demise.
Logistical question. Would that smell of it?
Have you smelt this ship?
Dev just starts laughing.
This is not a nice place to live. God below, this is not a fun place to live.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
There's a couple of spells again I can learn later on to help deal with that, but yes, the limitations of my magic are almost at an end for now.
Right.
I feel myself getting stronger. I understand more when I cast, when I read. I'm close.
Well,
It could be hours, it could be days, it could be weeks, but soon I'll be able to put my level of plan into motion.
you let me know what you need. I'll make sure you get it. I extend a hand over the table to her.
I'll take it and just say, I need Plug.
You shall
Dead or
have him.
alive, it doesn't matter.
You shall have him, don't you worry. We get to work tonight.
Oh, we will.
With that,
And I'm gonna cast Thaumaturgy, and my eyes are gonna turn into a dark swirling smoke before going back to their normal colour
ooh,
as I'm looking directly at him.
ugh, I haven't felt this excited in years. Shall we?
Indeed, sir, we shall.
That we go. I get up from the table and I go to the cabin door and hold it open for Torrin.
Mr. McCrae.
Torrin. And I follow her out with a very visible spring in my step.
And looking about, what do we see, Mr. DM?
Well, I think Lani said that he was going to wait for you to exit before continuing the journey. So I guess you would see.
Lani's outside, ready to crew, they're ready to leave. And as he sees Torrin come out, he turns, says to her,
Torrin, could get the owlbear to drop the anchor again. I mean, I could have done it, but I think getting him to the job pay dividends to him.
I think he quite likes it too. It's better to have a happy Albert. Albert! You want to drag that thing back up here? See if it makes a nice big splash.
Albert. And he will do as you ask.
Wonderful.
Which was raise the anchor, I believe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he will gladly do that. Again, seems to be fairly easy for him. And he lanks it back on the deck. Chain and all. So, you're setting sail. Lani, what sort of pace would you like to be keeping as you sail?
I think somewhere like a medium pace. It's not like I don't want to go a full out race up there, but certainly a not a meander. Try and move briskly.
Fair enough. Considering the lack of crew, though, it is going to be relatively still relatively strenuous because you're so low on crew.
Yep.
I mean, you're not even at half. I think you're not even 10, right? And you'd need probably double that to comfortably sail this ship at top speed. But yeah, I mean, bearing in mind that you're not going too fast, taking it relatively moderately, I think everyone will manage if they're not at least... They're all going to be fairly tired by the evening. If you maintain this speed, it's going to take you a couple of days to reach the coast. And I think rather than roleplay through each day, I would just ask you what you would like to do, if anything, over the next couple of days in which you require to reach the coast.
So Lani would have certainly been checking around with some of the crewmates, making sure they're keeping track, doing what they're doing correctly, but also delegating some of those jobs to Torrin as well. And certainly Des and Devvie, trying to make sure they are.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I would say on the first night before my brother goes down to see Plug for the first time, I will precede him. Yeah, I'll go down with him, but just go in like first. So is he? And how is he looking down in the bilges?
He's still manacled. He's been guarded all day by Sagava, so he's just kind of sat there, nonchalantly twisting a cutlass. He looks like he's been working. I mean, he looks tired, sweaty, and dirty. And looking at the water level within the bilges, then you'd have to assume that he has been worked throughout the day, yeah. And he also doesn't look particularly happy, especially when he sees you enter the bilges.
Give a nice big smile. Hello, Captain. How you doing down here? Treating you right, are they?
He glances up at you, but he initially says nothing.
Oh dear. We're feeling a little bit sad. that the people you've been shitting on for the last couple of weeks are getting their own back. Not so nice being on the other side, is it?
You see him like almost sticking his tongue in his cheek, obviously struggling, hearing the words.
Right then.
But
well,
managing to bite his tongue for the moment.
okay. Now, see, I thought I'd come down and just have this little chat, because there's a distinct possibility that we won't have chance to speak so much in the near future. I want us to tell you that I have treasured our time together. It has been a learning experience of being an utter cunt. Now, before the night proceeds as I think it's gonna, I just wanted to say that you are one of the worst people I've ever seen in my life. You are despicable, horrible, deplorable, a waste of oxygen, and every single thing that is going to happen to you, you deserve. I want you to know that. I want you to think on that later, when you're alone, with nothing but your pain. Right? Seeing this is possibly the last time we speak to each other, you got anything to say, Mr. Plug?
See him considering a little bit. Do not worry, Desi. I hate you too, from the depths of my heart.
Aww. I've got a nice warm feeling inside. Oh, glad we feel the same way. Now, just before I go, I would like to point out to you that, well, this could have gone differently. Very, very differently. If you'd just not been, well, you. So yeah, I guess it probably couldn't have gone any differently, could it? Well then, I bid you adieu. It has been an experience, I think, is possibly the best way of putting it. So, yeah. If you believe in a god, I'd start praying if I were you. And I will leave.
You just hear him softly say as you turn, "Then I will see you in hell."
I'll hold the door for you. And I'm gone.
Desi, you see Plug kind of take in a deep breath and close his eyes.
So, which one of the Rahadumis is down there, sorry?
Sagava, the one that
Sagava.
speaks common.
Yeah.
He's just been watching all of this so far.
Okay. I guess, is Torrin, are you with me?
Is you muted?
You might be muted. Are you muted, Nathan?
I might have been monologuing just a tad. I am not a smart man. Okay. Yes, Torrin would be with Devvie.
Okay.
And ready to just sort of stand back and watch for a bit.
Okay. So, at the top of the ladder to the villagers, I'll just call down. I'll say, "Right, Skava, you want to come up? You've been down in that darkness far too much, mate. You don't deserve that. Why don't you go and have some dinner with the rest of the crew, and have a bit of a evening of relaxation, and we'll put someone else on him tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I will do that.
Very well. Wait for Sugava to come up.
As he's climbing out, it's like he offered me 1,000 gold to help him escape. Luckily, I do not believe him capable. And you see him leave after he said that. Unless you want to say something before he does.
I'll just say to him, you've got your head screwed on tighter than that, Sugava, I know. He ain't got it on him. And, well, between you and me, I don't reckon he'll survive enough to get to a bank. So,
Well, this my thoughts exactly. Even if he does have this money hidden somewhere on the ship,
yeah.
His chances of actually being able to pay me with it are very slim.
You stick with us, my friend, you'll earn way more than that, don't you worry.
With that, he gives you a wink and heads up deck.
I look down into the darkness and kind of see Plug, and I take off my coat, fold it up neatly, put it on a crate next to the hatch, and then I roll up the sleeves of my shirt and I start heading down. And if Torrin comes down after me, we will close the hatch and just for expediency and to save the involuntary grimace of our listeners, I will just say that we fade to black there.
I think that's probably wise.
Leave it up to your
The
imagination.
hatch closes with a dull click. And for the next hour or so, perhaps, the more perceptive of the crew might hear the odd, muffled scream coming up from the bilges. But yeah, we shall move on to other things. Is there anything else you would like done
Not for my part.
over the next couple of days?
The only thing I would say is I would identify everything that has been brought forward to me, and also I would absolutely ransack the captain's quarters.
Okay.
Oh,
what
don't
do you want to
forget,
do
I've
first?
got the. We took the keys. He had a bunch of keys on him. There was a 3 keys on a ring I've got here that we took off of him. So if there are any locked trapdoors or anything like that, then we can see if they work.
Basically, the keys that you have, one is for the captain's door. One is for the door. There's actually a door in the captain's quarters that leads below deck into Kroop's quarters.
Okay.
A little hatch door.
Yep.
And the other key, I think Lani discovered last time, was actually the lock for the manacles that the owlbear had.
Okay.
Right, okay.
So, what did you want to do, Torrin?
I'd like to identify everything, and I'd like to
Okay.
ransack the place for absolutely fucking everything worth
Okay,
anything at all.
Let's start with identifying then. What
Yes.
items would you like to identify?
We were going to identify the pike, the magic extendo pike.
Okay,
Extendo.
one at a time.
Go,
I'm just gonna
extended pike,
show this to
go!
everybody.
Boarding pike of repelling. Oh.
Is that all visible to everybody?
Yeah.
It's one boarding pike of repelling, yes.
So on a command, can be extended as a bonus action, giving its wielder a reach of 20 feet for 1 round. While it's extended, it does not threaten creatures within 15 feet. and you can actually use this to push or pull objects.
Nice.
Fair. But it's a +1 pike regardless.
Yep.
Yeah. I think once you've realised how it works, it's got this like swirly carving up the shaft, and when you make the command, and it's almost like a twisting action that you have to make with your hands. There's a slight glow, and this thing extends. And I think through experimentation, you'd realise that in the moment where this extends, that like the shaft that you're holding onto becomes like very rigid within space.
Yeah.
So which would actually aid in pushing and pulling objects.
Very interesting.
Almost like a immovable rod kind of situation, temporarily.
Yeah, for the brief second where it extends, or
Yeah.
or what's the opposite of extend? De-extends? That's not correct.
Retract.
As I said, it seems like it becomes very still in space. Yeah.
Okay.
So are you saying that you have to grab the shaft to make it harder?
Isn't that always the way?
Man, I'm saying nothing.
Oh wow.
Okay,
So,
that is a fun item. Next is
item?
the cutlass. The wonderful blade. Ooh.
So this is known as a tide water cutlass. The blade is spotted with rust, and its basket hilt is cast in the likeness of a grinning skull. 3 times per day, you can use a cutlass to cast hydraulic push as a bonus action,
Nice.
which is technically not a 5e spell, but there is a homebrew version of it, and it basically allows you to create a wave of water which can knock somebody back or prone.
Cool.
Very
That's
cool.
very interesting.
Sweet. Is it a +1 cutlass, or is it just a...
It's just a standard cutlass.
Okay.
Well, not a +1.
Sorry, man. Okay, cool.
Were there any other magic items that we had not identified?
Were the manacles magic
Yeah.
for
That's what I was
They
gonna ask.
were magical. Can I identify them as well? Shackles of compliance.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Oh man. Poor guy. Shackles of compliance.
Oh, if nobody minds, I want them. Oh, 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 yeah, okay.
I don't think we, yeah. I don't think we need them to get Owlbear to do what we want. I think he's quite trusting of us.
No, I don't think we do.
So I think we can safely take those off and use them as we see fit.
Yeah,
Funsies.
I'd like to have them for a little while, if I can.
Right ahead.
Yeah,
There was one more magic item.
was there?
Yep, I know. Yeah. You've obviously all forgotten, but I don't think your characters would have.
Yes,
The
we are
hammock.
stupid, but our characters are probably smarter.
Yes.
I have a
The
+5
hammock.
intelligence. Torrin is definitely smart enough to remember.
Yeah, and I think it was only yesterday that you realised that this item was magical. It's the hammock.
Oh
The
yes.
hammock.
Yes.
I did remember you saying, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it from Hospitality's hammock. Oh wow, okay.
Ooh.
Allows you to re-roll hit dice when taking a long rest. Each of the dice may be re-rolled only once, and you must take the new result. Okay,
That's fantastic.
that's pretty cool.
Pretty good.
Nice.
Yep, I'm more than happy to leave that just hanging in the captain's quarters for now.
Yep.
So, that was, I believe, everything.
As far as I'm aware, yes. I'm going to add the shackles to my inventory just so I have them.
Yeah.
It's a very
Okay.
Torrin item.
You also wanted to do some
maybe.
ransacking?
I definitely do want to ransack, and I would ask for someone with a high intelligence to come help me. Mainly, the guy who likes shiny things. So, Devvie, if you don't mind, would you like to help me ransack and find things of value?
Yes. Give me a second. I think what I've done is I've opened a copy of this character. Give me a second. Why have I done that? Really? Yeah. Okay, give me a second. Let me just open my actual one. Ah, silly boy.
Eddie is currently having an existential crisis.
Very silly.
Why don't you go ahead and
Okay.
roll me an investigation check, Torrin?
I can do that.
Okay.
Come on. Investigation.
Yes, okay.
That is a 14.
And Devvie?
Yeah, okay, so... Investigation.
Ooh.
Oh, that'll be a dirty 20.
Very nice.
Very nice. Okay. So, exploring the cabin, you find a number of, I wouldn't necessarily say valuable items, but you know, there's things like there's a couple of wine bottles, a couple of spirit bottles. There's some clothing which seems to be fairly decent. This sort of thing. In there were like sliding doors on each side of the cabin. On this one, you find like a writing desk which is folded up. There is also some parchments and inks and that sort of thing in there. In the other, you find a chest.
I like the idea of a chest.
Yes.
I'm assuming you would like to open it.
Yeah, yes.
As the Pope should in the woods.
I will leave the rogue to do the opening and checking the locks and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I am technically proficient in thieves' tools, I think I'll leave it to the expert.
Where's my tools? Thieves' tools, yeah. So it's dexterity plus proficiency, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you checking it or are you opening it?
I'm checking it first.
Then investigation will.
Okay.
I would also accept.
Okay. Well, that's a 4.
Seems fine.
Okay. In that case,
A regular chest.
just a regular chest.
It does have a built-in lock.
Okay. And in that case, I will try to open it with my thieves' tools. Bada bing. And that would be... where is it? So dexterity plus... my dexterity plus 3, right? Plus my proficiency.
Yep.
So that is a 12 plus my proficiency is 15.
Okay. 15, I'd say, is just enough. It's, as I said, it's an inbuilt lock. It's not a separate padlock.
Okay.
And the quality is not amazing. And with a 15, you just managed to jam it open. Now, it's a fairly large box. You could probably just about squeeze a person in it. And you open the box and you discover what I'm going to call plunder.
Plunder.
Now, this is basically a term that I'm going to use in the future, and it's basically a term which contains anything which is not necessarily coin, but something of trade value. So this could be stuff like gemstones, metal ores, rare materials. It would also include like certain high value alcohols, silks, maybe some spices, anything that has decent value.
Booty.
Basically, we can call it booty if you like. I thought
Plunder, booty. All is fun.
So-
I just like booty.
This chest in total contains 2 points of plunder,
Okay.
and depending on where you go to trade these goods and to sell these goods, of course, if you turn up to a small village, you're going to get a much lower price. If you go to the big city, you'll be able to sell for full value. The full value of this 2 points of plunder is 2,000 gold.
Oh.
Damn.
If you go to the city.
Would someone
It does depend.
Would someone like the Squibs take full value for that as payment?
No, because they're not. It's well. I don't want to say too much. You'll see when you get there.
Okay, fair. Someone like
But
that
I'm
probably
just
doesn't
explaining a bit. The value that you get depends on where you are at the time of
Right.
selling it.
Okay,
I mean, you do also have the opportunity to barter a little bit to maybe improve the percentage that you're getting.
Uh-huh.
But generally, the bigger the settlement, the better value you will get.
Okay. Cool. Well. Nice.
I am definitely happy with that.
Oh yeah.
So, anything else, or shall we continue with our voyage?
Other than our standard torture, I think I'm pretty good. Although I will probably set up a small little shrine for Merkel. Some gold coins. A place to hang my skull necklace. And I'll probably place my bone dagger there as well. And I'll probably make it a habit to pray each night before going down to see Mr. Plug.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me.
I have just one more thing. As the days go by till we reach the squib, Lanny starts to become a bit more confident in the ship, and he can be seen at the wheel, steering the wheel when he's there, with a rat upon his shoulder.
Okay.
And he's
Okay.
quite happy. He's stood quite stoic, but he's got a little cheeky smile on his face too. Feels quite at home.
Okay. Lovely.
Each night, as we make our way towards our destination, in the privacy of his own head, if he's meditating or whatever, Des will be conversing with Besmara. Doesn't expect to hear anything back, but he's acutely aware that he wasn't able to land a single hit on Plug until he invoked her name, and then his aim was true, which has left quite a mark on him. So he's sending a few words her way.
Okay. Lovely. So, if that was everything, I would say you spend the next 2 to 3 days sailing north. The weather is pleasant throughout, and although the sailing is strenuous due to you being undermanned, you all seem to end each day, though tired and sore, happy. And you can sense that the general morale on the ship is relatively good. After the more oppressive regime of the previous captain or two, this feels fairly relaxed.
Yes.
And at some point on the third day, you will actually reach the coast. And Tally will point you to head east. And you slowly start making your way up the coast until he raises a hand and points out to you, Lani, a small inlet. Or you just see like the coast is basically it's like immediately jungle almost. There's like almost a little bit of mangrove, a little bit of sandy earth, but the wall of the jungle starts almost immediately as the sea ends. And there's a small section where you can see what looks like the exit of maybe an estuary or a river entering the sea. And it's slightly easier to spot because it seems that the water that is emerging is kind of like an earthy red colour, and it's kind of like bleeding out into the ocean where the two come together.
So Lani will instruct to I said it would be essentially raise the sails to slow us down, or lower. Would it be lower the sails, Bose? If you were,
You'd be lowering the
slow down.
slow down.
Generally,
you'd be lowering the sails.
Sail.
Yeah, so you'd instruct to lower the sails, slow us down, and then essentially trying to see if there is any indication of, as Mr. Krupp had said, a flag or anything that's going to say that we cannot enter at this time.
So you slowly approach, and should give me a perception check.
Yeah, 17.
Okay. As you're now heading and getting closer to this estuary exit, and with the help of Tally, who's pointing out to you, you can just make out on the near side of the river mouth, hidden within the trees, there seems to be some sort of wooden tower-like construction. It's very well camouflaged, but with Tally's help you can see it, and he says that's where the flag would be raised. But you're now actually relatively close, and nothing has been there is no flag in sight, so I think you can assume that you're free to sail in.
Yeah, give the command to advance.
Okay, so you enter and swing around to the left, so that from the sea you can actually barely even see what's there, because you're like immediately turning a corner, and then you enter this kind of like dogleg small estuary, and there you can see the small settlement that is what is known as rickety squibs. So as you pass like like this collar of trees, you can feel that the heat increases. There's no wind here, and it's very stuffy. You can see the water itself, as I said, is very red and muddy, and looking at the riverbanks there, you can see that the level of the water seems relatively low. There are insects buzzing around, and you can immediately feel the sweat start to pearl on your skin as this almost oppressive heat greets you as you enter. At this point you see some commotion onshore. And assuming you anchor and wait, you will eventually see 5 figures enter a small jolly boat and make your way over to you. As they approach, you can see 4 relatively young men accompanied by 1 older gentleman. And as they reach the ship, a rope is tossed up towards you. So I assume you're going to tie it off and...
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I would shout to the crew as the jolly boat is approaching. Prepare for visitors. Stand by on deck. And have all crew on deck waiting for their arrival.
Okay.
Just a point. Just to make sure that the bilges have been pumping all the way in, and I've been kind of like saving some of it, some of our subjects' vital fluids, and I empty that into the bilge water so that on our approach there is definitely a red wake behind us.
I'm going to say the amount of blood that would require...
It's quite a lot, but...
It's quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like the idea, but I'm just asking myself how much
it doesn't
blood
have to
would be necessary.
It doesn't have to like visibly look like really red, but if it attracts lots of sharks, that's pretty good.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Let me make a note of that. Okay. So if you toss down a rope ladder, you can see the older gentleman first begins to climb. You see him actually stop and glancing over. He's obviously spotted the damage to the hull. And eventually he clambers up over the rail onto the deck. Seems to be an older gentleman, possibly 70-ish. He's got like a few like liver spots on his face. His hair is completely white, although the top of his head is completely bald. He's got a gold earring, and as you see him grimacing as he climbs over, he's missing about half of his teeth. And the ones he do have seem to be very worn down, so they're almost like peg-like there's a gap between each one. And he hops onto the deck, and he's immediately, rather than introduce himself or actually make eye contact with anybody, he basically starts to survey the ship. He's looking up and down, touching wood. And after 20-30 seconds of this, he eventually turns to you. Alright, how's it going? I'm Rickety. I assume you've come for a squibbing?
Yes, please.
Sounds
Mr.
vaguely
Rickety.
kinky.
He steps towards you, Lenny. You captain then, are you?
Yeah, the name is Captain Skull Crusher.
Oh, well, very nice. Right,
But anyway, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Rickety. Yeah, we do require some repairs, as you can see, but also a clean-up of the ship and an appearance change, let's say.
You want completely redone, yep?
Yeah,
Aye.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's not beat around bush. Ship this size is going to cost you 2,000 gold. Plus, I'm going to have to charge you about 500 to fix the hull.
Seems fair, Mr. Rickety. and that's the best price you can do.
Well, that's the price that it costs. Standard price.
Are there any kind of things that you might want doing around the place that we might be able to do that might bring the price down a little bit? Need any kind of, I don't know, sea-dwelling creatures killed, or bandits roughed up, or something like that might be able to, we might be able to lend a hand with, bring the price down a little bit?
I think we're quite content for the moment. We're quite out and away from things out here, so we don't really get much bother. But if I need anything, I'll let you know. But as I said, these are standard prices. No more, no less.
Right. I have a question. So we might not have the full amount on us right now. Is there some way that we can pay you later?
See him raise his eyebrows slightly. So, well, of course, it's not so uncommon that people in your predicament come this way like this. I'll expect some sort of down payment, just to know that you're serious.
Of course.
But anything you're not able to pay, I'll expect repaid with a 50% surcharge.
50?
Right. I think that's all right. To be honest, I mean, he's also dealing in secrecy here,
Yeah, well, I mean, 50? That's a bit steep, don't you think?
Well, we'll see what we can scrape together, see what we can pay for, and then we only pay 50% on what we don't have.
Alright.
That's how it works, yep.
Yeah, alright, it makes sense. So, well, and yes, and we would, Mr. Rickety, we would love to employ your services, and if you lot want to get started, then we shall start making a pile of things that we don't particularly need that we could possibly use as payment.
Alright, we'll get to work immediately. It's going to take about a week to get things done. You are welcome to use the common houses while you're staying here. He's looking around at the ship again. Were you thinking about a particular style, or
something easy to sell?
Alright, if you're looking to sell, I can do that. Do you have a name?
Well, what do you reckon? The Dog Rose, the Trade Winds, the Mayflower. What do you reckon, lads?
I quite like Sea Breeze.
Sea Breeze? How many Sea Breezes are knocking about, Squibs?
Around the Shackles? No. Would be the first that I've heard.
Oh, Sea Breeze sounds alright to me. Anyone else?
Right then.
I'm happy with that. It's inconspicuous enough for our intentions.
Yeah, sounds nice and innocent. We'll have Sea Breeze.
Alright, lovely. Right, I'll get my crew working, get this thing hauled up onto land. And, you can look at your finances.
One particular question. What can we do about any prisoners that we may have? Do you have any facilities of holding, or shall we keep them on the ship?
Not really. I mean, where are they currently being held?
In the bilge.
You can leave them down there.
Perfect. If your men want to hurl abuse at him, they are more than welcome to.
Right, fair
It's
enough.
encouraged, actually.
Bit of a slimy cunt, that one.
Yeah, and I will just say this. Anything he promises, he doesn't have, because we took it all. So, if any of your workers attempted to take him up on his offer, it's entirely hollow. It's not worth anything. It's not worth the breath that he used.
Fair enough. Not my bother. Not my job. Not my worry.
Wonderful. Right. Let's get to work, shall we?
He claps his hands. Yeah. And he will leave again with the 4 men that he arrived with. And I'm going to bring you over.
Nice.
Oh,
Very idyllic.
lovely.
So, as he said, you are welcome to... there's quite a large common house where there are a number of sleeping quarters that you can use. And, there's like areas to wash, clean, cook. You're basically able to be quite comfortable there over the next few days. There are a number of wooden structures. Some of them are just like lean-tos. Obviously, quarters of the workers here. In the distance, you can see a paddock of oxen. And as you reach the shore, out of all these little houses and huts, these people kind of exit and swarm out like insects, and they start heading over to the ship. And just off of the map, to the east, there's an actual dry dock, and they'll have the ship basically pulled up with the use of the oxen, so that it's completely outside of the water, so that they can begin to comfortably begin work, which they do immediately. And to the sound of cracking wood and sawing and hammering, you are free to do as you like at Rickety Squibs.
As we are exiting the ships, I would make a point to say to the crew before they all disperse, do you remember? We are all here under Captain Skullcrush's name. Anything that you do that may be seen as untoward is a reflection upon him. So do behave yourselves. At least try to behave yourselves. And another thing, you all know the sound of our bell. And I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy and have the sound of the bell ring out. If you hear our bell, you meet here, you drop everything you're doing, and you come here immediately. Is that understood?
Aye.
I would just like to add, as Miss Blackguard said, you are here and you are representing your good captain. Also, we are, technically speaking, trying to keep a bit of a low profile. So, if you do disgrace us or draw attention to us in any way which gets us into trouble, I'll be making sure that you get into trouble. Personally. Is that clear?
Aye.
Right. Good.
Any questions from your horrible lot?
Just blank stares and shake heads.
Alright, go on. Fuck off. Enjoy your time on shore. Go on, fuck off!
And with that, your crew disperse. So a short time later, Rickety does reappear. Right, have you looked at your finances yet?
Oh yes. Having scraped everything together, let's have a look. What do we have? So
all of us have some money. Because we were paid previously.
right,
So
the pearls, the ones that were left, I have 350 gold's worth left. There's also 200 gold on Plug's coin purse.
yep.
So that's 550. Just put that in the calculator. Right, okay. 550.
I have some assorted gems worth 60 gold that I'm happy to put forward before going into actual money.
So that's 60. So there is a harp made from orca jaw with pearls encrusted in it. That wasn't magical, was it?
No.
Okay. Does that have a gold value?
So, the harp, yeah. I think you found a number of scrimshaw items that weren't...
Yeah, there were other scrimshaw items that weren't the dagger and the
Yeah, there was the
jawbone
harp,
and
there was a hammerhead skull, and there was another one with octopuses carved into it. Those 3 pieces... Rickety says he would give you 500 gold for those 3 pieces.
that's fair.
Shit.
Okay, that's good. So that brings us to...
Now, there was also,
Yeah.
I think it was a walrus tusk, which
Yes.
had a map of the Shackles
We are
scrimshawed on
keeping
it. He says he would give you 200 for that one.
Okay, 200 for that. Let's put that to one side for the minute, though, because that could be useful to us.
I think we have other maps,
Oh, do
so
we?
I don't think that is. Well, we have maps in the room that we were using
Oh, yes,
in
of
the cabin
course.
quarters, so
Yeah,
have
but
an
they're
actual
Nowhere near
map,
as cool
yeah,
as that, though.
they are nowhere near as cool. But
No, that's pretty good. That brings the total to 1310. And what about
I
the...
have
Sorry, carry on.
I have 8 silver ingots.
Yes, that's what I was going to come to.
How much would they fetch?
He says he'd give you about 100 for those.
Okay. That's 1,410.
I have a gold earring worth 15 gold pieces.
Don't forget, you have 2 points of plunder.
we do.
Ah, yes. How much will he give us for those, though? Because in a big city, that would be 2 grand. But it might be less for
At this
him.
point, I think it would be very wise if, for the future, you have someone with the set role to take care and take note of the plunder that you have on your ship.
Yeah. Okay. Like a banker.
Which?
So,
I mean, as the intelligent one of the group, I would suppose Torrin would volunteer her services for that if it was a discussion.
Yeah. That's fine.
I would also, personally, you can do it however you like. As I said, when it comes to selling these things, you can kind of make a check to see if you can maybe sweeten the deal a little bit.
Oh, I see. Like a persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion. Yeah, I guess persuasion or
Bartering.
I always want to say
haggling. That's it.
what did you say?
Haggling. Like a haggle check.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, I always want to say diplomacy, but that doesn't exist in 5e. So I think it would be a persuasion check, I guess,
Yeah.
which is the closest thing that comes to it.
Yeah, that's
Unless,
not my
of course, you're-
strongest suit.
There was,
Unless, of course, you're trying other means.
there was also
I mean-
an assortment of coins in the Grundilo lair. Don't know how much that would come to.
Assuming you stay to collect all that, that would have been another 200 gold pieces.
200?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, who would like to barter with... I mean, for these small items, I'll just give you, like, the trade price. But for plunder, I'll always allow you to barter.
I can be persuasive.
Can I assist on the persuasion to give her advantage?
So his immediate response to these 2 points of plunder would be that he would give you 600 gold coins.
Poor, instead of 2 grand.
Yep.
But that would put us 200 over our total.
Or of the
As I said, though,
extra
I will
500
allow you to barter. So whoever is bartering, you can make a persuasion check.
I will try. I will attempt to do some barter.
Can I assist in any way?
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing this as a pair together at the same time, I would class that as an assist. So yeah, Torrin could make with advantage, or you can both make a roll.
Without wanting to metagame, how good is your persuasion?
I mean, it's not great, but
I'm gonna do it then.
I have. It helps.
It's a plus number.
I'll take the roll,
Yeah.
if that's all right.
Good.
Good thing that was bloody with advantage. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. A 13 for a persuasion.
Yeah, he seems unswayed by your offer and your bartering, and he maintains that he could not possibly afford to give you more, or could not accept for more value than 600.
I
for the
think
plunder that you're offering.
I think
Wait
that
a
I
minute.
would.
How much gold does each of you have? Because I've got a bit.
Well,
and I think
That was going to be my next thought.
because ultimately, if we could save that plunder till we get to a bigger port, we sell it for as much as we can get for it, rather than measly 600 or whatever. And then we split that 4 ways, and we get more money back.
Well, it makes it much easier to buy a ship if we've got a lot more money for the plunder.
I have in my list 417 gold points, but I don't know where that came from.
Gold points?
Well,
Gold pieces is.
gold pieces. Sorry, GP.
Well, I've got 360.
And I'm sitting at 300.
I've got 380.
Wow. Okay. Well,
So-
Between us, we've
shit.
got more than enough to pay our.
Yes.
I also have 60 gold pieces of gems as well, apparently.
Yes.
All right, we'll throw the gems in, and then we'll just split the difference 4 ways, and we'll pay it out of our personal gold.
Yeah, we got.
Then we save our plunder. We
Yeah.
can make much more money later on from it, and deal with it that way.
Good. Okay, so let me just clear my calculator again then.
And by my working out, we should be at 1670. So we would need
230? No, 330.
730 total. No,
No, because we're not
Right.
paying the interest this way.
but no, we're paying the extra 500 for the whole fix.
Oh yes, of course. So it's 2,500
Oh,
altogether, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
6, 7, 830 we need to pay.
Okay, so it's what 207 each, something like that. Is my math right there?
Yeah, if we pay 2, 7 to 8.
208. All of us put in 208. He gets like 2 gold as a bonus. Fuck it. And then with everything else we've already said about, that's a lot. And we got a brand new fixed up ship.
Yep.
Okay, just just to be sure, can we go through this again? And anything that's mentioned to be sold, please remove from your sheet.
Yes.
Yes.
So
we had the 4 Scrimshaw items, including the map of the Shackles.
yeah. So
Yes.
Correct?
the
For a
shark,
grand total of 700.
Yes.
that's shark jawbone, the horns. Yeah. Let's get rid of those.
And my whalebone is still safe and secure with me or
yeah,
on the ship.
on the ship.
But yes,
Yes.
still mine.
That's
Are we
a different.
are we including the large hooked tooth that had the pearls in it?
I think the tooth are not of value. The pearls
Okay.
would be, of course.
Right. Cool. All right.
And that was 350, I believe, for the remaining pearls.
Yep. So that's that. So I'm going to knock the pearls off of my list entirely because Torrin has 100 gold worth.
I have a singular pearl worth 100.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're using the
Which
rest
the
for
spell
this
component.
transaction. Okay, so I'll knock the
Yes.
pearls off my list completely.
Another 100 for the silver ingots.
Another 100 for that. Yeah. Silver ingots. Yeah. That's off my list.
What's the total now?
1,100.
Thank you, because I forgot to make note. 200 gold points, gold pieces from Plug's coin purse.
Okay.
So there we are. That's that.
I had 60 gold of gems.
Oh yes, we all had that. 60 gems, 60 gold worth of gems each, didn't we? We can I'm chucking my 60 in as well then.
Yep.
I'm throwing mine in.
Nanny.
Yeah.
Captain.
Mine's
You rolled out on us.
Trying to work out. Okay.
What are you up to now?
1,590. And there was, I think we'd set the 200 gold from the lair, from the Grindelows
No,
lair.
I'm thinking about it. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in the game when Des collected it. I'm pretty sure I remember saying a gold amount
Fine.
at that time, which he's probably marked as gold.
So we have
So
set
I
at
would-
1,590.
I can go back and check this.
Aha,
'cause it's
assortment of
recorded.
coins was 200.
Yeah, but
Did you add that to your gold? Did you?
Yeah, that's what I mean, Troy. I'm pretty sure I remember you saying. I'm pretty sure I remember you saying the amount of gold that you found. So I assumed you would have put it on your sheet already.
Entirely possible, yes.
Well, that's fine.
And
I
I'd
said
like
that's
to
one.
exclude that for the moment. I will go back and check the recording, and if I did not, then I would, of course, allow you to add that.
How much would you give me for this spearhead here? It looks like it might be made of silver.
Oh God, I don't think that's worth all that much.
Scraping here, scraping.
Sorry, Rich, where are we?
We're at 1,590 at the minute.
1590.
1,000, yeah.
Then I am putting in 410 gold of my own money.
Hold on. Got one or two things to price up yet.
He would give you 50 for the silver spearhead.
Oh, there you go. That's another 50. What about these? What about these? I've got these crossbow bolts. I'm told that they are vaguely magical in nature.
Oh, I don't know much about that. He looks at them, but he's like shrugs. Sorry, I'm not too knowledgeable with the magical items, so I don't know if I can just take your word for it.
No, fair enough. All right.
Oh, I've got a silver dagger.
He'd take 50 for that as well, if you want to give it.
50, yeah. Add 50 on Rich.
I have this silver wedding ring.
Do you
I
remember
assure
where
you it's
found
not
it?
mine. Sorry?
Do you remember where you found it?
That was in
Was
the
it Mr.
Grim.
Scourge's?
Oh, was
Yeah.
it? I thought it was. Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd give you 20 gold for that.
I'll take that.
We are left to pay. We are at 790.
That's pretty good.
And how much
So
gold
it would
have you
be-
got each?
At the minute, no. So at the minute, we've put none of our own contribution in. So
Okay.
if we were to put in 200 each, that would cover it.
200. Yeah, I can put 200 in.
I'm happy with that.
Same.
Yeah.
And you've retained your plunder.
Indeed, we have.
Done.
Okay. So, with all that, he's like, oh, what'd you make such a fuss for? You've got the money here.
Didn't realise how much we
Yeah.
had. That's pretty good going.
Always a nice problem to have, having more than you thought.
Better than the other way around.
Absolutely.
And he has some of his workers carry off the items. And takes the gold. Right, I'm going to get this secured away. As I said, you're welcome to use our amenities here. And in the meantime, I guess you just relax as best you can. I'm afraid it's been very, very hot recently. We've not had rain for quite a while. It's a bit dry, as you can see, looking out at the river. So, yeah, just try not to drink too much water. But we do have quite a large stock of beer, which you're welcome to partake in. And he actually points out to the end of the dock. And you can see like a rope has been tied off, and there's actually like a crate of beer just like floating in the water.
Nice.
Nice.
He's like, help yourselves. And with that, he turns and walks away.
So, we're not telling the crew about that one, right?
No, I don't see why we should have to burden them with that particular knowledge.
Yeah. I'm gonna wave a hand and cast Unseen Servant, and an invisible spectre is going to just wander to the end of the pier and start pulling up this crate of beer.
Nice.
Okay.
No, he's
As
wildly
he's,
impressive.
is it invisible?
It
Or
is 100% invisible. Invisible,
the others haven't-
mindless, shapeless, medium force that performs simple tasks at my command until the spell ends an hour
It's just
later.
I need to be. The others don't see it.
No.
Okay. So you see the rope being lifted, and then it slowly starts to be pulled in. The crate itself you see bobbing slightly as it nears the pier. But about halfway, the crate suddenly and disappears underwater as if it had been pulled down. And the rope becomes taut.
That's odd.
Yeah. Was that you?
No. I mean the up bit, yeah, but the down bit, no.
That's a bit concerning.
Which pier is it on? Just for sake, is it?
It's over here. It's tied off onto this corner piling here.
I would command the servant to bring me the beer.
Can he do it? Does he need to walk on land? Because I mean, it's not actually at the dock yet. It's still it's irrelevant. The beer crate is no longer visible.
It is just an invisible, mindless, shapeless force that will perform
what I'm saying
simple tasks. It doesn't have any
Will of its own?
It can perform simple tasks that a human servant can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basic gist of what that spell tells me.
Okay. Yeah, I was unsure
it's an
whether
invisible
it could,
servant, basically.
travel across water and that sort of thing, but it's irrelevant. This crate of beer is currently not visible. It's been it seems to have sunk under the water.
I reckon it's probably anchored to stop it from bobbing away.
Where the fuck am I supposed to have a drink then?
You just bloody walk up to the fucking thing.
Well, what's the use in all this magic if I can't fucking use it?
Yeah, Lanny will walk over to the beer crate or where it was and try and see if he can see it, reach down and just pull out a single beer.
You don't see the crate. All you see at the moment is the rope basically disappearing down into the water.
So I'll pull on the rope.
You hear?
Yeah.
Okay. So you pull it once and it's quite... I mean, you don't expect much resistance, but you feel that it's tight. Give me a strength check.
Regular check.
Or an athletics check, I guess. I'd expect.
That's the strength check.
Wow.
Okay. That's pretty...
So you go to pull it the first time, it doesn't really give. So you give it like a harder yank, and this time there is a little bit of give, but you feel it kind of like pull back again, and it's way more than you expected. And which you actually feel the rope like slide through your fingers, and you like instinctively like release the grip as you realize you've got like some minor friction burns on the palm of your hand as this rope has been pulled through so quickly. And in that moment, there's a moment's pause, and suddenly the water in front of you explodes, and rising up, coiling, is a green-coloured snake, gigantic in size. As it rises, it almost reaches your height stood on the pier, but as the face lifts up to see you, rather than the normal serpentine face, you see strangely mottled with green flecks, but unmistakably the face of a human woman.
Ooh.
Its yellow, slitted eyes open wide, as does its mouth, in which you see needle-like teeth glistening in the sun.
That's fucking...
And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
No! You can't end it there! What the fuck? Holy
That's
shit!
where we're ending tonight's session, I'm afraid. Yeah. So, lovely.
I knew it was coming.
God damn it!
Now, I don't want to point fingers, but I think you did that on purpose.
Kind of. It was almost like I wanted to end the session.
I know, right?
And you know what?
Crazy.
Just to make it official. There we go.
Oh, what? Oh my god. That's... No. That's okay. We don't need that.
So, that's it for this evening. Thanks for joining us. I thought we were going to go over to Dan for a sign-off today, but I think he's just gone AFK. Would somebody else like to take us out? Or shall I do it?
Sure. I totally prepared for this. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening for this session. We recently had our very first live stream on Twitch. It was a great deal of fun. We are running the NCL, which is the Nexus Championship League over there, where it's a battle royale for people who wish to take part and win the coveted belt, which doesn't actually exist yet, but we will get it done at some point. We also recently got followed by Sergeant Slaughter of WWE on Twitter, which we're all quite giddy about, which is actually quite exciting. If you would like to also follow us on socials, we are at TNT Nerds on all of them. Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook. Other than Instagram, I said that a bit wrong. Instagram is actually TNT_nerds, because for some reason TNT Nerds was not available there. Anyway, so follow us on the socials. We're quite chatty on there, and thank you for listening.
Well, damn, I went AFK and then the end of the episode happened.
I had to wing it, Dan. I had to wing it. I'm not impressed, Dan. I'm not impressed.
Sorry.
Okay. With that,
I mean,
thank you,
if you want to cut that whole thing out and just like put your own badly dubbed bit over the top, that's also fine.
Right. Okay. Cool.
It might even be funnier.
Yeah, you'll have to catch up on YouTube to see what happened.
Yeah.
So with that, thanks for joining us. See you all next week.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh!